I've got a riddle for you. I'm twice the size of Texas, 3 times the size of France. I float just like a swan with the weight of 500 jumbo jets. I'm the largest of my kind, yet I'm out of sight and out of mind. But if I keep on growing, I'm sure to take your life. What am I? Figure it out yet? I'll give you another hint. Right outside your fingertips are all the components that created this monster. Plastic. More specifically, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Over the course of 3 years, 30 boats, 652 surface nets, and aerial mapping, the Ocean Cleanup Project took to the seas on several data collection missions to compose an analysis of the threat that plastic pollution poses to our oceans. My name is Natalie Chisholm, and over the next 4 to 5 minutes, I'm going to go over that analysis with you and let you know what type of plastics float in this patch, how much plastic, and how it poses a threat to marine and human life, so that by the end of the speech, you'll be more acquainted with the GPGP, Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and have a better idea of how it poses a threat to all of us. So imagine with me, if you will, the great state of Texas. Now imagine 2 Texases floating side by side in the ocean. The land replaced by plastic of all shapes, sizes, and colors. And as far as your eye can see, nothing but plastic bobbing about in the ocean's currents. Over 10 foot deep and spanning the course of 1 million square miles is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Located between California and Hawaii, it is the largest of 5 offshore accumulation plastic zones. The amassing product of decades of plastic pollution, and it gets bigger every day. Every year, 8 million metric tons of garbage and plastic are dumped into our ocean through river sources and other sources. The stronger the plastic, the bigger the plastic, the further it floats, the more damage it does, and it eventually ends up at one of our garbage patches. Ending up at the GPGP doesn't necessarily mean the end of your journey, though. Researchers suggest that after arriving, ocean currents, marine life, and sun exposure causes the plastic to take on various forms and shapes. It can come from the size of a pinhead all the way to the size of a multi-meter fishing net. Micro, macro, meso, and megaplastics can be found just below the surface of the water all the way down to the ocean's floor. Although 92% of this garbage patch is composed of plastics, there are other things floating in there as well. 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic. That's enough for everybody on this planet, 7.5 billion people, to have 250 pieces of plastic apiece. 80,000 metric tons. 80,000 metric tons. That's as much as 500 jumbo jets. And if you were to take one of these jumbo jets up in the air for an aerial view, looking down at the GPGP, it would look like a mountain coming up from the depths of the water. And if you were to include the outer rings of this mountain in your estimate, it would weigh more like 100,000 metric tons instead of just the 80. With the size and weight of this problem, it's no wonder it's a pressing solution. Over $13 billion is spent annually cleaning up plastic pollution. So why? Because of the dangers that the GPGP and its counterparts pose to marine and human life. With the variations and types of plastics, sizes and colors, sea life, turtles, birds, and fish easily mistake it as food and eat it. Fish eat the plastic, we eat the fish, we eat the plastic. It's called bioaccumulation. And with the garbage patch turning into its own continent of toxins and poisons-based plastic, it's easy to understand why marine life has such a debilitating factor now, with changes in health, with changes in behavior, and general well-being. All of planet life depends on the ocean and how healthy it is. 92% of marine life has been seriously affected by plastics pollution. 17% of that are now threatened species. Even fishing fleets feel the impact of plastic contamination. For the most part, the plastics that we dispose of every day end up in the ocean. Never fully biodegrading, always staying around in some form or some shape. Plastics in the Great Pacific Ocean Patch have been the most extensively researched entity ever by the Ocean Cleanup Project. 3 years of devotion and scientific study to determine how much it's threatened us, what kinds of plastic and how much plastic floats in it, and how it affects marine and human life. An island of plastic and pollution. Their numbers are in, the data is solid, and the results are shocking. An island of plastic and pollution. Twice the size of Texas, floating like a swan, the weight of 500 jumbo jets, and a constant reminder of how out of sight isn't always out of mind.